Most people that I know, native and non-native, celebrated Thanksgiving with their family.
I
Went to the family's home
brother's
and
family
carved the
and,
turkey and
his
ate all the
wife
stuff,
and
traditional
his
stuff.
kids
And then I went to a friend's house
Sat around with my
who was
family,
making dinner for me and my friends.
and
Stuff we did as
I spent the
kids.
night there. Then we went
I
to
went to a friend's
down
house
South
and
Jersey.
had a
Gathered with
traditional
family
dinner.
and had a
dinner.
delicious
My
meal.
sister-in-law
Turkey.
makes the best turkey ever. It's never dry.
My
We had
grandmother
turkey.
made
We had two kinds of mashed potatoes,
potatoes,
two different
macaroni
kinds of
and
green
cheese,
beans, and gravy,
macaroni
and
and
stuffing,
potatoes.
salad.
Stuffing.
The
We
usual
had dessert. We
traditional
had
potato salad,
pumpkin pie
potato,
cake,
Stuffing and
and
dessert.
apple pie,
apple pie, pumpkin ice
potato
pie,
pie,
pumpkin
etc.
pie.
sweet potato pie,
Salads
cherry
and
pie,
fruit
salad,
Pie.
Sweet potato
Lavender
pie.
cupcakes.
lots of wine.
And then we fell asleep on the table for a few hours.
There's a myth, about Thanksgiving, which was created probably about 50 years after Thanksgiving.
I would think it would dates back to the Pilgrims. Yes. Yeah.
In 1863, during the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln designated the last Thursday in the month for a general day of giving thanks for all Americans. Thanksgiving really had nothing to do with pilgrims or Native Americans or the first, so-called feast. It just had to do with Americans giving thanks.
That's when the Pilgrims and the Indians got
Something
together
with the Indians.
and shared
Something like
hot-
that.
During the times of the
I don't
Pilgrims,
remember.
to introduce it to the Indians, our culture and
But
stuff
that's
like
when
that.
they got
Like
together.
giving a
and
feast,
broke
food,
bread with each
trading
other,
stuff with them,
made a friendship.
trying to teach them our culture.
I know it's with
So
the
eloquently
Pilgrims.
put it.
The Pilgrims
Kind
who
of like
won
a
the
meal
first
treaty.
They were
Europeans,
Indians
Native
in
American in the New
America
World. They
and
landed in
the
north of where they
British
were
or
shooting
the
for.
Spanish.
As
Or
they were
when
colder
the
and
colonizers
colonized,
came
more
to
hard,
America,
Northeast
they
area
harder life than they thought.
were fed by the
So,
Native
they kinda
Americans for
struggled
the first time
to survive
here.
the first year.
started
They
when
met
the
up with
Pilgrims
a tribe
came
He
to
ended
the
up
United
killing most of
States
the
and America
natives
was friendly
and
with the
who,
Indians.
taking
They
their
invited
food
befriended
and
them and
they got
taught
together
them
and
lots
they
of
made
Thanksgiving was the
tricks
day where they
to,
first
dinner
There was an
and
exchange
shared
together
of,
to
their-
celebrate
their
festivity.
thanks.
maybe
some
some
goods
goods
and really
by inviting them to a
really work together
teachings.
to sort
Harvest
of reap the
festival,
benefits of the
basically.
harvest.
It was a
that we had on
brutal,
this. Yeah, it was,
oppressive relationship. And they bathed with the Indians. It's a ritual, yeah. And then they laid out the Thanksgiving dinner. They had a turkey. They killed a couple of pigs, and they had a wonderful time.
History is written by the winners.
If Native American organizations, took that giant leap in saying, "Oh, hold on a second, don't put us in your Thanksgiving because it has nothing to do with us. Thanksgiving, it has to do with all of us being Americans, not this preposterous story." I think that it's a great direction to go.
Believe it or not, I feel American every day. So, Thanksgiving doesn't really doesn't certify it for me. Every day I'm American.
I think Native Americans have learned in some ways from the African American civil rights movement, but yet to come together in that way, we haven't, because we still have the ideology of being separate nations, and it's difficult. We're African American people because of slavery. Most of them lost the knowledge of their country.
I like the fact that I have a choice. And I love the American freedom that I have. Even though some things appear to be a fake choice, but at least I have the illusion of choice. I like the illusion of choice.
We are Americans by, most of us not by choice, but we are Americans. And I think we, can embrace this day as a day to come together, with all people from all different places that have come here and celebrate Thanksgiving, whether they're, Arabic or Christian or Jewish or what have you. And that's really what Thanksgiving is. This is, America is a melting pot.
It had to do with the immigrants that came in many years ago, starting with the Mayflower.
The fact is, we are a great country. We're the greatest country in the world. We have to be, because millions of people from thousands of countries, hundreds of countries come here, so there has to be something.
Yeah, I actually think Thanksgiving is one of the coolest holidays just because it does ask you to stop and be more thankful and reflective about how blessed and lucky you actually are.
You take that sort of opportunity when you have off of work and you gather with friends. It gives rise to this, reflection on what you are thankful for.
It needs a day off.
It's a repose from your daily routine that allows, that sort of contemplation.
Whatever we can really say about Thanksgiving, it does make people stop and it's the busiest travel day of the year. So obviously it's saying something about Americans, that we still on that Thanksgiving day tend to still come together,
That's what my Thanksgiving is. Getting together with my family, having a good time, and eating a lot.
My perception is that a lot of Americans just treat it as a Roman orgy where they eat and they sleep and they get up, they eat some more, go back to sleep.
I had the stomach virus the next day after Thanksgiving. I was asleep all Friday.
Black Friday, right?
A lot of people do Black Friday and
shopping,
they'll go
shopping,
berserk and shop all over the place at
a lot of
ungodly
everything.
hours,
It's going to be
but I
a
never
Black
do.
Friday,
of
the
consumerism
retailers want to
called
make
Black
money,
Friday.
and so all the
And it
sales and
has
people shopping
a
today.
massive
it's
appeal.
A, big
A lot of people
retail
came to
holiday.
my stores crazy.
Everybody
I
calls me,
worked
oh,
at
you're missing
6
the sale,
in
you're missing the
morning.
sale.
For Native Americans? No, they don't celebrate it. I don't think so.
I'm sure they celebrate with maybe a tinge of regret.
I don't think so. No, I think they see
I
it
would
as the
suspect
beginning of the
no.
end, and I don't
think
blame them.
it's sort of becoming a more of an American thing, but
No.
driven by, obviously
It didn't turn out very well for the
I don't
natives.
know, maybe Native Americans who are American-born more, perhaps.
But we're still missing the point that Thanksgiving has nothing to do with any of that. It just has to do with us being Americans. For many indigenous people, they really have no choice in being American because, our country, our homeland was conquered by people from other places who turned this place into the United States of America. Our ancestors are buried in this hemisphere, and so we honor being citizens of this country, and so we volunteer for their wars and defend the land.
And the whole idea of the noble savage, right, that we built up in America to kind of handle the guilt. The idea that there's something about the Native American that is very dignified, stoic.
I think the most blatant thing for indigenous people is being used as mascots in America. We have teams called the Redskins, and there are educational institutions from kindergarten to college level that still have Native Americans, human beings, as mascots for their schools.
Like, what's that movie, The Last of the Mohicans, in the book, The Last of the Mohicans? Yeah, it was kind of, and all the stories about Pocahontas, things like that. We, celebrate the dignity of the Native American as a way to cope with guilt over destroying their culture.
If the Polish people decided that they wanted to have a soccer team called the Warsaw Jews, and the Jewish people said that's a racist term. That's that idea of using Jewish people is racist, and the Polish community said no, we mean it as an honor. It's a very similar thing. Native Americans are the most oppressed people in this country.
There's very few Native Americans in this country. I have a few friends who are Native American, but there's such a disconnect between them and their roots that other cultures don't have in America. And America has so many cultures.
I actually know one Native American guy that doesn't celebrate any American holidays. He felt like his ancestors were tricked and thing. Like I said, I really try to stray away from politics and all this other nonsense.
We're the Native Americans from New York City. They were all exterminated. They no longer exist. The Matahatta, the Sanhegans.
To make ourselves more comfortable with it, we joke about it. So we'll say something like, oh, today's the day we celebrate killing all the Indians, or something like that, which is really cruel, but...
A genocide unlike any place on Earth. We talk about 90% of a population of the two continents were exterminated.
It was unfortunate, the things that happened, but it's in the past.
But, unless you acknowledge the past, then it could repeat itself. I mean, in the Amazon, in places in South America, demarcated lands are being taken from the indigenous people. They're being killed by cattle ranchers. Missionaries are coming in and spreading disease, and it's pretty much a repeat of what happened here in North America.
Eventually, the government had to settle the conflict between the Native Americans and the Americans. So they have their they have like a little reservation in Oklahoma, and they just do whatever they want to do.
Many of our communities are in places where there's no chance for any economic development. Or
the only time that I've seen Indians was when I was in Utah on a vacation, and the Indians that I saw there, they did not look very well.
The highest unemployment, highest teenage dropout, highest teenage suicide, highest percentage of drug and alcohol use.
It gave the impression that they did not have a good life.
You know, when you look at Lakota people in Pine Ridge, which is the poorest county in America, you know, where first Americans are freezing, no coats, and third world conditions.
They have like a Native American hospital where they go, they get treated, and they don't pay for anything. And if I'm not mistaken, when they do the Native American casinos, I don't think they're taxed.
I personally can't reflect on the original Thanksgiving without thinking of things like the Trail of Tears and casinos and things like that, you know, the necessary or the, you know, later byproducts of that relationship. So I just think about what I'm thankful for.
Thankful for the stuff I have. It's such a hard time now, and I'm really blessed to be working and to have an awesome family.
I was thankful for my husband this year because I just got married. So
Thankful for health,
for having
family.
the opportunity to come
My
together.
friends, my family,
for
my health.
teachers, which
We're
is
always
all
thankful
of the
for our health.
My
subjective,
husband,
narcissistic
to my mother,
things.
to my
Thankful
to
for
who I
family
claim my
and all the
formal
blessings
teachers are
we
my
have,
yoga
friends
teachers
who visit
and
from
my
Florida
meditation
for the
teachers who
weekend.
just really remind me and teach me that, you know, compassion and gratitude is the underlining force for everything.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay.
Have a nice time. And thankful for clothes. For what? Clothes.